All right, everyone, welcome back to the Be Healthy and Thrive podcast. My name is Brianna Wilkerson, and I am so excited to talk to you today about Melaleuca, otherwise known as tea tree essential oil. So this is one of the essential oil features on the podcast, and we'll kind of just go from there and talking about it. So we'll talk about the basics of the oil, the science, the sourcing, the safety, the uses, testimonies around the oils, as well as the emotions. So basically, Melaleuca, or tea tree oil, as well, most people would know it as, is best known for its purifying properties. It can be used to cleanse and purify the skin and nails and promote a clear, healthy complexion. Also, doTERRA's Melaleuca in particular can be taken internally, and it can be used to enhance immunity when seasonal threats are high. It is also a great cleaning source. I actually clean my bathroom with Melaleuca and lemon. And so it is really great because of its antiseptic nature. Melaleuca is also frequently used on minor skin irritations to soothe the skin and help it recover quickly. And again, it can be used to help purify and freshen your surroundings, but specifically the air. So let's talk a little bit about the science behind Melaleuca and what makes it what it is. And so the chemical constituents of Melaleuca are A-terpenes, Y-terpenes, and terpenine-4-ol, and P-cymene. If you're an organic chemistry person, you'll know what that is. But basically, what I did is I took the Melaleuca bottle, looked it up on the Source to You website that doTERRA has, where they have the testing results of that particular Melaleuca essential bottle. And what I found was that I think it was, terpenine-4 oil was about 43.15%. So almost half was that particular chemical constituent. So that means that the therapeutic benefits we're going to get from Melaleuca is going to mainly come from that. So terpenine-4-ol seems to be the reason that the wood of the Melaleuca tree itself is very resistant to rotting and molding. And I'll talk a little bit about why that's important when we get to where it's sourced from. But, kind of given the hot climates of Australia, where it does come from, in order for the Melaleuca tree to survive and reproduce, the tree itself must be resistant to fungus and bacteria. So the essential oil within the tree helps the tree become resistant and survive. Therefore, when we are taking the Melaleuca essential oil, it has those same benefits as well. It belongs to the alcohol families, which again is also known for its cleansing properties, which helps environmental threats and supports immunity. So the therapeutic properties from that, again, just kind of to wrap it all up there, is antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antiviral, and decongestant. So it's a really amazing oil. And so in regards to the sourcing, kind of mentioned it comes from Australia, where the plant itself is indigenous. It's more commonly known as tea tree oil, and has about over 92 different compounds and limitless applications. The leaves of the Melaleuca tree were used by the, I always say this wrong, the native people of Australia for centuries. They would crush the leaves and inhale the oil to promote clear breathing and apply the leaves directly to the skin, which help with recovery. The creation of Melaleuca is similar to lavender. It's steam distilled to release the essential oil from the leaves and capture the oils. Now, in regards to the safety of Melaleuca, it's kind of great for all ages. Actually, one that a lot of moms have told me they've used on their children when they've got a little boo-boo or a little scrape. It's one of the best antiseptic natural sources you can use. It's known as a neat oil, which just means it can kind of go straight on the skin without a carrier oil. But if you just want to increase the penetration rate as well as just dilute it, I would use carrier oil such as coconut oil. The dosage, again, depends, but you just want to always be careful when you're first using the oils. You don't need a whole lot. Less is actually always more when it comes to essential oils because they're so potent. The shelf life of Melaleuca essential oil is roughly 2 to 4 years, and you can usually look at the bottom of the oil, at least for doTERRA, and see the expiration date. And again, with all essential oils in children, just put it in a place out of their reach, because children are they're so curious, which is actually a really beautiful quality. I think we almost lose our curiosity as we get older, but just put it in a place kind of away from them. So what are specifically some of the uses of Melaleuca essential oil? Well, here are some of its top ones. So cuts and wounds, you can apply it to clean and disinfect wounds. Viruses, bacteria, and diarrhea, you could take in a capsule or apply to abdominal. Canker and cold sores, You could take, you could use on site. So if you typically get it in your mouth, just kind of gargle some Melaleuca in water, which I actually need to do now because I have a little canker sore. Athlete's foot and candida issues, taking a capsule or dilute and apply to the affected area. Sore throat and tonsillitis, you can take in a capsule or gargle, again with warm water. Dandruff, scabies, and lice, apply to the affected area or add to your shampoo, lather, and soak. Ear infections, you can put behind the ear. Shock, apply under the nose or to the spine. Things such as acne, pink eye, staph infection, and MRSA, taking a capsule or apply to the affected area. Bronchitis, cold and flu, throat, you could rub it on your throat. You could diffuse it or taking a capsule as well. Hive, rashes, and itchy eyes, apply or taking a capsule. Seeing a pattern here. Cavities and gum disease, the same, taking a capsule or apply. And the emotional balance, which we'll talk about right now actually, is really helping you go from being unsure to kind of collected. And so Melaleuca blends really well with other essential oils such as lavender, which we talked about before, Siberian fir, which is a great new oil that doTERRA now has, thyme, litsea, and cypress. And it can be found in a couple of doTERRA's existing blends, such as Purify, which is one of the most beautiful blends ever. Kind of smells like pine salt, to be honest, because it does have pine, but it is a great cleansing blend. We use it in our laundry a lot, as well as diffuse it if I kind of burn something in the kitchen sometimes. Just saying. So for the emotional benefits of Melaleuca, it's actually known as the oil of energetic boundaries. So disinfected by nature, Melaleuca, or tea tree oil, clears negative energetic baggage. It specifically releases codependent and parasitic relationships. These toxic relationships may be with people, microorganisms in the physical body, or even spiritual beings. The individual may feel drained of life, force, and energy, but they may not be consciously aware of the source of this energy leakage. Melaleuca helps break the negative ties in these kinds of relationships so that new, healthy connections may be formed that honor one's personal space and boundaries. This energetic vampirism between organisms violates the law of nature. Melaleuca encourages an individual to connect to people and beings in a way that honor and respect the other's agency. It helps the individual to recognize the part of themselves that invited and allow these kind of relationships to exist in the first place. Through these empowering processes, Melaleuca encourages an individual to relinquish all forms of self-betrayal, including allowing others to take advantage of one's time, energy, or talents, letting others feed on one's energy, not standing up for oneself or feeling responsible for the problems of others. Melaleuca assists individuals in purification practices and in releasing toxic debris. And so it's just really an oil to kind of really help with the energetic boundaries. And so we all have issues with boundaries from different times. I was just talking with someone about this earlier, actually, and just how it's very easy to keep saying yes to things when sometimes we need to say no. And so maybe diffusing or just smelling the bottle of Melaleuca could really help you with that. And sometimes you could even put it at the top of your head or different points in your body to kind of let it sink in. And so some different testimonies that I've heard and I've experienced around this particular essential oil is that it's definitely very antiseptic. Again, I've used it on the different canker sores I've had, and I've had friends who've done that as well. In regards to the skin, my husband, again, used lavender, tea tree oil, or Melaleuca, and frankincense to apply around, I think it was a little scar, and the scar just kind of started to fade away. And so it's really, really great for that. I'll actually use Melaleuca often if I get a bug bite or to kind of ward off the bugs there. And there's tons of other oils that can actually help do that. There's a beautiful one called Terra Shield, which smells beautiful. And so I really love Melaleuca. It's one that had to grow on me, I'm not going to lie, because at first it's like, this is very interesting smell, but now I just actually want to smell it all the time. Maybe because I've gotten better at boundaries. I don't know. So that's a little bit about Melaleuca, or tea tree essential oil. We kind of talked about the basics. It's a really great oil for cleansing properties. We talked about the science, the terpene, how it really just helps the plant itself survive in the climate. So therefore, helping us fight against things such as viral or bacteria or fungi. We talked about where it's sourced from Australia. the different safety precautions around it, just making sure we're just, less is always more, and it's okay to apply underneath to the skin, but making sure that you are using coconut oil if that's what you feel comfortable with. Uses, there were tons of uses, but mainly ones around cuts, wounds, fungi, or any sores, that sort of stuff. And then the emotions is the oil of energetic boundaries, and tons of testimonies that I've shared around that. So thank you so much for listening to this essential oil feature of Melaleuca Tea Tree Essential Oil. If you're interested in learning more, I'm going to put a link for the Essential Oils one-on-one webinar that I've done, which is about 10 different of the 10 basic oils that I definitely use in everyday life. And those are the 10 oils we're going to go through to kind of start with. And if you're interested in trying those oils, please reach out. You can email me at madewellky@gmail.com or find me on the different social media channels, madewell345. So thanks so much. And I look forward to really talking with you more about the oils as well as all the other stuff on this podcast. Thanks and have a good one.